manager for your project.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
I am Mike Delicio. Welcome.
Oh, so that went up and down. That was like a little bit of a wave curve there.
Okay.
I started low, Z brought it up, and then Mike smoothed it out into our smooth jazz channel.
You're listening to smooth jazz.
All right, folks, welcome to Crowdsurfing, where we talk about Kickstarters, and if things keep going the way they're going, maybe we'll talk about other crowdfunding projects at some point in the future from other sites, if they continue off. But we have a contest for you. This is for a game that's now on Kickstarter through November 12th called Treasure Hogs from Farshire Games. We have 2 copies of this, and you can win the Archaeologist pledge of this. This is about pig archaeologists. And what I want to know for this, to win this contest, you need to email us at contest@dicetower.com and tell us in the subject, put the word hogs, Hogs, like that movie with Tim Allen, Wild Hogs. Was that the...
Really? You're going to go with that? That's going to be the thing you use?
That's when I think of hogs.
Right. I think of the Tim Allen movie. Yeah.
That classic of American theater. In the
John
subject,
Travolta's finest acting.
And that's saying something.
In the subject, give us your address, but also you need to tell us the name of one of the Kickstarter exclusive archaeologists unlocked as a stretch goal. And there are 4 of them. We just need to know one of them. One of these is actually Z's nickname. It's a 30 to 40 minute competitive card game where you're trying to become the ultimate treasure hog for 2 to 5 players. And you are a hog archaeologist, which I believe is the first I've heard of this theme. You could become, I was trying to figure out if I'm reading these answers. No. Amelia Swinehart, Sir Hogsalot, Professor Bones, or Napoleon. Those are the archaeologists in the base game.
Yeah, see, the frog archaeologist games, those are a dime a dozen. I'm glad to see that they're diversifying, going into hog archaeology. That's something
archaeology, I believe, is the short term for it.
It's about time.
It is.
I've been waiting ever since that film. I'm like, yeah, great, bikes, but where's the archaeology?
Right.
Alrighty, well, folks, we have a lot of Kickstarters to get through today. I found it interesting this week. I thought it was interesting that there's a lot of small ones. There's not a lot of huge Kickstarters this week, but I also don't think they are poorly done, a lot of these small ones. They look like nice little small projects, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a nicer grouping in the middle, I'll say.
I agree, yes. I think you're right.
Except for one that's disgusting and sickens me. You know the one.
Oh, I do know the one. But you know what? Since I mentioned this, I just realized that we should be talking about this now. So we're going to. We have a project we're going to talk about that's not on Kickstarter, but it is on a fundraising platform. And that is the HeroQuest game system. Since this ends in the next 10 days, and that's kind of our limit to talk about games anyway.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So HeroQuest game system, we've talked about this quite a bit, actually, internally. We were all interested to see what it would look like. They're running it through HasLab, which I should say I highly despise this system. It just seems inferior to Kickstarter, and that is a goal that you should not have.
Yeah.
If you're going to... Now, I get why Hasbro did it, because, A, they don't want to give Kickstarter 10% when they don't have to.
Right.
But
I mean, they've made $2.6 million. I don't think they're concerned about the quality of this page.
No.
Sure, but isn't that interesting, though? They made $2.6 million, and that's Hasbro with a very well-known name. That's still less than some of the bigger ones. I mean, it's still nothing to scoff at.
No.
But it's still less than some of the other big dungeon crawls.
Yeah, but considering it's $2.6 million of absolute nostalgia, I mean, that's it.
Right.
That's true. And it looks like they are planning to sell it later on. They literally, with this game, are selling the old game the only thing they've changed is the artwork and the models.
Yeah.
And instead of having cardboard furniture, it's now going to have plastic furniture. And instead of charging you a reasonable amount of shipping, they're going to gouge you.
Yes.
That's my biggest problem with this one here. Not the fact that it's $150 for what's a very basic game, but the fact that if you're getting it shipped to Canada, it was like $130 shipping.
Right.
And
What?
Like $30 shipping to America. Where are they shipping it from? This is Hasbro. You think they would have some sort of
They should have distribution channels all over the world.
They should have their own distribution centers.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I don't necessarily think that there's an issue with them not updating the game as far as the mechanics, because I think if you had done that, you'd have upset some people that said, I want it just the way I remember it. So that's not where I have the issue. I think the issue I have is similar to what you're saying, Tom, is just that this just has a feel of almost being a little icky. It's just like, it's just so forward with the money aspect. You know what I mean? It's just, we're gonna hit you for everything we can get based on your nostalgia. And I guess, obviously a lot of people are in on it, and that's fine. Nothing against that, but it just to me feels almost cynical.
I really wish that they had added more to it, in the sense of they decided to turn all this furniture into plastic figures. Why didn't they just add more monsters then? Why? The game was already really basic. It just needed more stuff, and that's why they had these expansions, Keller's Keep and Witchlord, which you can get here, which is good because these expansions were going for hundreds a piece on eBay. But I always liked this game because it gave you kind of a sandbox. You could build your own little thing. It was really easy for a kid to be a dungeon crawler. The problem is this is not a kid price.
No, not at all.
Did they update the expansions as well then? Did they add new artwork and plastic, the new format of plastic to the expansions also?
Yeah, it looks like it's done the exact same way.
Yeah.
The pictures are very similar, but they're just updated some. Keller's Keep looks the most different. The other one looks more similar, but then there's a few stretch goals here, but they're so nothing. 2 extra zombies, 2 extra orcs. They're just not very. Even when I look here, this Bard hero, that's actually really interesting. It's a new hero, but that's only if they get to 3 million.
Although I must say, almost backing back from what I said just a moment ago, is that as we've been doing these Kickstarter shows, the crowdsurfing shows, the trend seems to be bigger and bigger and bigger, right? That really is what this model has, I think, become for board gaming. We have 2 ends of the spectrum. We're going to be talking about a lot of the smaller ones that wouldn't be able to necessarily be produced through other mediums. And so that's, something we've talked about. But on the other end of the spectrum, it seems like we've got projects like this that are just saying what we said, a moment ago off camera, which is, as big as we can make it, if people are willing to pay for it, we'll make it. And that's kind of where I feel like this is going.
Sure.
Well, it'll be in thrift stores all over the world soon enough, I suppose, if we go by the last one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, but how much is this going to cost in store? You're saying that they will sell it afterwards in stores for how much,
Yeah.
Who knows?
I wonder if you can buy this here now like this, and then they're going to gut all that plastic and throw it on the store shelves.
Yeah, make it a standee version. Yeah.
Because that can sell, you know what I mean? But not this. They can't put this on I was going to say Toys R Us, rest in peace. But they can't put this on, they can't throw this on a Target shelf for $100. No one's going to buy that.
No.
I don't know.
All right, let's jump to the other extremes here. Let's get into Kickstarter.
Yes.
First, we have Little Flower Shop, Employee Pack, and more. The first thing I want to say about this one is the cover here for Little Flower Shop, Employee Pack. I don't know what it is, but that's one of the most realistic people. Like, that looks like an actual person. I don't know how to explain it. Not Hollywood.
Oh, okay. I think I see what you mean. Like, they're depicting somebody that's not ultra glamorous or.
Well, yeah, but she also looks like she's 45 to 50, not, someone fresh out of college. I don't know. I just like it. It just adds some authenticity. I'm a fan of Little Flower Shop. It's a nice little drafting game.
It is.
It's not one of Dr. Finn's better known games, but I enjoy it a lot.
I liked it as well, and I get the impression that this campaign really is almost more a chance for people that didn't get the base game to get the base game. And, you know, they've got these little mini packs. If you already have the game, you could just get those. But I get the impression this is probably, hey, here's a game that may have flown under the radar, another chance to get a hold of it.
Right. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I haven't played the original game, though I tend to like his games. So I'm glad it's a little extra and another shot to get the game.
Yeah.
Then we have a game that looks like a big game, but it's just it's doing decent on Kickstarter. This is Desolated. This is the first game from this company, Antithesis Games, and I have to say I'm a really big fan of how this game looks.
Yeah.
The cards, you know, Z, you're always complaining that cards don't have clean design. I don't think you can get cleaner than this.
No, I agree. I think they look very good.
Right.
It's a nice marriage between graphic design, very clean, straightforward graphic design, and then cool, bizarre sci-fi artwork.
Right.
Where neither side overwhelms the other.
Right. The only thing I don't love is the font, but I do like the way that the cards look. You know, it seems like the way it plays is going to be like just a very kind of simple engine buildy type game where cards can be used either to gain resources or to trigger kind of like this chain, like maybe a production chain. So I think it looks really interesting.
I'm guessing the only reason that it's not being backed more is just because it's a new company.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a pile of miniatures.
Right.
But
that's it. It's exactly.
But I like it.
A game with a bunch of artwork. It looks like a miniatures game. You look at that cover and they show you in the opening image a bunch of boxes, right?
Right.
And then you scroll down and you never do find minis.
Right.
Most people who look at this cover, I would assume, expect minis. That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have probably a worse game than this with a bunch of miniatures that'll make more money faster. I mean, not probably. Sure. I know it would. You know what I mean?
Well, it might not make more money, though, you know, because they cost money to make.
Sure.
Well, no, I know, but it'll raise more money. You know?
Right.
I'm hoping this gets some buzz after it's been published because it looks good. Of course, we don't know, but the idea of another card game, Race for the Galaxy stylish type thing, I'm kind of on board with that.
Yeah, no, I think it looks good.
Phenomenally good.
Yes. There's a couple of games that feel that way about on this slate today. I'll mention the other one when we get there, but I agree with you, Tom.
All right, then we have Swatch, the abstract game of art. This is the second time they've launched it. This time it has succeeded. This is another one where I really like how it looks. I'm a big fan of these color style games anyway.
Sure.
And that's all this one is, piles of colors. But I think they do a good job at how they look. Like, I like the way the cards do multiple patterns with the colors. It almost has like a modern art feel to it.
A little bit.
Yeah, I don't think I get it. I don't know. I don't like arts that look like an actual swatch from the store. Like something I would pull off of the shelf as a sample at a Home Depot. I don't really like that to be the look of a card myself. But I get that people like, you know, these kinds of games. Those, like that hand at the top there, it says choose your scheme. Those cards look like something you would borrow or take from a home improvement store to bring home and you know, try to figure out what color scheme. I don't know. It looks.
See, I really like that because I used to take those home and wish there was a game that looked like them.
I think that's kind of charming. I get what they're going for. It absolutely looks like that, but I feel like that's what they were going for, and it's just going to be either that works for you or it doesn't. But I think
guess what, Mike?
It doesn't work for you.
It doesn't, and I hate everything about this game. Thumbs down, way down. No, it's fine. I'm kidding. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, then we have Studies in Sorcery. This is another engine building and drafting game. And when I first looked at the art, I was kind of because it's all brown. But when I took a closer look, I wasn't as opposed to it. I still think they overused the brown color.
They overused the grave digging. That was messed up. It got real morbid in the middle there. They're like, you can dig. Maybe you'll find the pieces of people you want, or you can keep digging. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And
it
look,
went from
you're
like cutesy to morbid right back to cutesy before I was able to sort of catch up. Right. Yeah, this looks pretty good.
Yeah. How many of these do I have to dig to get a femur? How do I get a femur around here?
Mike, don't be bringing your past life into what we're talking about.
Getting a decent femur is difficult.
It is. It really is.
You know? I'm all about the clavicles myself. My clavicle
Weird Draft
lover.
Games has made some pretty interesting stuff. I like that Weird Draft Games has their own motif, and they don't make games that are similar to other games that are out there, which I'm pleased about.
They do have a very clear aesthetic and a style, and this is a perfect example of a company that I believe is using Kickstarter as, hey, this is the way they're getting their games out to the market, and they've built up a fair amount of notoriety and buzz. I think they have a lot of repeat backers.
Yeah. All right, jumping over to Dice made by...
Talking about dark. What the heck is this, Thomas?
Well, it's been a while since we had a Dice project, and so I thought we'd add one. And when I first saw this, I thought, that is tremendously disgusting. But happily, when you read through it, you realize they're not actual teeth.
They're not actual teeth? I'm out.
I backed this because I thought they were actual teeth.
Right.
Now, they're teeth made of commonly used photo-curing materials whose structure and hardness are comparable to human teeth. I think the sole purpose of these is to gross out other players. Like, it's time for the teeth dice. You win. I'm
confused. So what is it?
Well, I think, so from what I can understand from reading here, he wanted to make actual teeth dice, then realized that the difficulty of collecting that many teeth was pretty much nigh impossible. As advised by his dentist, and I'm actually wondering what his dentist thought when he asked this question.
You want how many teeth? I'll be right back. I need to make a quick phone call.
I like how the inspiration for these dice came about. He was at his dentist apparently, and he had to remove his wisdom tooth. And it says, "When I saw a bloody tooth taken out of my mouth, I was shocked for a few seconds. This used to be a part of my body." So I think we've all had a similar experience, right? We've had. I don't think that's ever caused me to say, you know what? I'm going to take this thing that was just removed from me. I'm going to put it inside of a die. That's an interesting.
I do have a project coming up called Appendix Dice Towers.
Spleenopoly.
Spleenopoly. Now with 100% more spleen.
When my kids lose their teeth, they're not getting money. They'll look under the pillow. There'll be a die with their tooth in it.
The bath bomb. Here's the bath bomb with your tooth in it.
If you roll a natural 20 with this tooth die, you'll get $5. If you roll a 1 with this,
we take another tooth
laundry for 3 weeks.
I need another tooth tonight then. Double the teeth given.
Oh my goodness.
Now speaking
I'm glad. I guess part of me is glad to find out it wasn't actual teeth, but I was pretty grossed out.
That was pretty gross.
Speaking of gross, Mr. Cabbage Head's Garden returns.
This isn't gross at all. This is charming.
No, look, Mike, they specifically say in the tagline, terrifyingly illustrated quirky game.
I
absolutely disagree.
Finally admitted it, okay? This game does look terrifying. They look like period images, but I think they're not. I think they're actually just modern drawings, but they look like the drawings of a serial killer from the 20s.
That's a very specific reference. Okay. Yeah, because by the 40s, serial killers had a very different artistic style by the 40s. They'd gone more into the postmodern. I love the look of this game. I like this game. Have you played this, Z or Tom?
Oh, I think it's I have a copy.
Yeah,
I absolutely recommend this. I'm just being facetious about the artwork, but well, this is a good game. This is a great solitaire game. It's fun. I think the scoring is a little. I don't want to say obtuse, but it just sort of it dampens the end game a little bit for me. But as far as it being an interesting game, quick to throw down, have a good time with it. Yes. If you don't have it, you're a solo gamer. You want to get a copy of this. Yeah. Now, If you do have it, then this is just a couple of new promos.
Right.
I don't know if I would go through the trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They've got these little. I think the grasshoppers might be new. I don't know if I remember those, but
Grasshoppers. Where are they?
Scrolly. There we go. The grasshoppers expansion. I don't know if I've had that.
That's 1 card tile and 4 tokens.
That is. I don't believe that's new.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've played with that.
I might have that. I don't remember.
All
In
right.
any case, yeah. It's a good one.
It is.
Weirdness. All right. Animize, the trading card of Australian animals. So the thing that brought me into this was I liked how the cards themselves look.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good graphic design. I'm saying that a lot today, actually.
Yeah.
We're usually wailing on graphic design, and it's nice to see some I think that look good.
This is a
lot
project.
of these games, like we said, they don't look that bad this week.
No.
But there's few that look amazing also,
Right.
I think.
This project, I think, to me is almost bulletproof because everything they're doing is so. It's like, look, we're using sustainable inks. We're using these booster packs are biodegradable. I mean, this is really a project that it seems like it's at least as much about the message as it is about the game. This is very, very much about conservation, and I think that's a great message. And I think good on them for trying to promote something that is passionate to them. The local Australian wildlife. I don't know much if there's a game there, but I'm with you. I think the look of the cards is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right.
I suspect the game is not amazing, but
Probably.
I do like how the cards looked.
I mean, unfortunately, it is a collectible card game, basically, or a trading card game. So you are, what this is about is buying boosters
Sure.
to the base game. I wish it was a different model.
Yeah.
For this game, but I agree with you, Mike. I think it's all comes from a good place.
Yeah.
It reminds me of an old card game, which was a CCG, called Zico with an X. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that or you ever heard of it. This was around, I don't know, a decade ago maybe. And it was the kind of game you could usually get at zoos and places like that.
Oh, interesting.
It was.
Okay.
I mean, you could get it elsewhere also, and they did. It was a good CCG with this kind of theme on top of it.
Interesting. Okay.
The other extremes here, we have Sagacity, a tabletop board game. I love how they crack me up.
Right.
Guys, this is a tabletop board game.
Okay.
As opposed to all those other board games.
Mm-hmm.
This is 4 in a row, 3D, and I give them props, but I do wonder if they've looked on the internet to see if maybe anyone else has ever made this in the past 60 years, because the answer to that is yes.
Yes, correct. We've had a lot of these kind of Connect 4 type. Oh, and apparently that Align 4 thing is a whole big controversy based off of comments on our previous Kickstarter.
I don't want to get into that.
I won't either, but yeah, it's interesting that it seems to be that this renaissance of Connect 4 that's happening now. So who knows where it's going from here?
Connect 5.
No,
by the way,
you've just blown my mind.
This wooden version of the game looks way better than the plastic one.
$700.
Yeah, then there's that. I'm just saying that he should have started with the wooden one. I think I would have been more like, okay, simple game, but it looks quality. The plastic one just looks cheap.
Yes.
It does. It does.
The wooden one, though, is not worth $700. Alrighty, well, while everyone at home decides whether they want to spend $700 or not, let's take a moment of reflection on our decreasing wallets and go to Mark. We'll be right back.
This week's Spotlight is brought to you by Breaking Games. Asking for Troubles is a worker placement board game where you, the player, is trying your best to rid the star system of space pests known as Troubles. You play a trouble hunter, flinging the space vermin into the stars and dealing with unsavory folk just to get the job done. And now Breaking Games brings you 2 new expansions, Troublemakers and Companions. In Troublemakers, when the scientists on the Sagan colony decide to help With the Troubles' infestation, it was predictable by most that their inventions would cause more harm than aid. Inspired by nature's engineering of Troubles, the scientists created Trobots. They directed them towards planet Paradise to eat up all the Troubles, but instead, they went haywire and attacked the entire system of Orange. Now it's up to you, the Trouble Hunters, to capture the Trobots and return them to their makers. And in Companions, space is lonely, but when the Lost Colony ship, the Friend, appeared on the outskirts of the star system, everyone was thrilled to hear about it. Even more exciting, Friend ship contains a new resource, shards, that provide another way to capture Troubles. The residents of this ship are eager to explore the galaxy with you if you let them tag along. Despite their silly quirks, they'll give you these shards to help rid the galaxy of Troubles. For more information, please go check out the campaign, which is now live on Kickstarter.
Hey board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Crowdsurfing Lanyap. That's right, I'm bringing you projects that won't break your budget, but throw in a little something extra. Here's what I'm checking out this week. Hoop Gods is the brand new game from Board Game Brothers, designed by Amoria Keel with art from Hamu Dennis. It's the same company that brought you Rap Gods last year. Hoop Gods has that same flair. It's got beautiful art, an easy to learn gameplay, and it really translates 3 versus 3 street ball onto the tabletop. Players will choose 3 ballers, grab a deck of cards, and then try to be the first player to score points. But let's face it, it's all about winning with style. The Kickstarter project is pretty reasonable too. For only $35 plus shipping, you can get the base game, or you can even add on a copy of Rap Gods if you missed the original. Plus, there's some sweet lanyap. They hit a stretch goal, and now they're adding cardboard hoops to each end of the court. With the standees and the gorgeous court, and throw in the hoops, and now you have some real kinetic energy in this game. So that's Hoop Gods from Board Game Brothers, a one-on-one, 2-player street ball. It's NBA Jam on the tabletop. It's Blacktop on the tabletop. It's got so many nicknames, but what it really is fantastic fun. It's relatively inexpensive, and hey, it's got that sweet little lanyap where they're putting in cardboard hoops on each side of a beautifully produced game. Check out Hoop Gods on Kickstarter right now, and until next time, laissez le bon temps rouler.
All right, folks, we're going to jump back into a game you may have seen us play recently, and that is Unforgiven, the Lincoln Assassination Trial. This is a game, and it's a 2-player only game, and it's the trial of Mary Surratt, one of the conspirators, or at least that's the argument, was she a conspirator or not, of the thing to assassinate Abraham Lincoln. Now, interestingly enough, Green Feet Games, their last game that I did from there is Paradise Lost. I massacred this game. It deserved it. It was a really terrible game. And you may have heard of Patriots and Redcoats because Sam would occasionally mention it in every video. But I'll tell you 2 things about this game. It's very historical, but there's 2 things. One, we were paid to do a paid playthrough of this on our channel. The second one that we did last week, we chose to do because we enjoyed it that much. I'll go even farther. This game has a lot of similarities to Seven Wonders Duel, and I think it's better.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's really good. This one, now I do have an interest in history, so that helps, but I think even taking that completely out of it, the mechanics of the game are really good. It has that same, kind of tension that you feel in Seven Wonders Duel. It has the multiple ways of winning. Really a solid game.
Is there any vampire hunting that takes place in this game?
That's the expansion.
Sure. Correct.
Because if there was, I might say, okay, I will consider playing this, and maybe it will be better than Seven Wonders Duel. But as of right now, it's about the murder of Abraham Lincoln and the trial afterwards. Just shoot me instead. This sounds so incredibly boring.
That can be arranged. And secondly, get off your anti-history kick, because that is an
I hate history and everything that came before today.
You know, Seven Wonders Duel is all of history.
Absolutely, yeah. It's older than this. Seven Wonders Duel is older than this as far as history goes. Come on now.
Guys, you're right. You've opened up my eyes.
Shut up. I don't want to hear this garbage. This is a really fun game. I have a couple tiny quibbles with it. I'm not so sure on the dice track. But other than that, I feel like they did a good job. There's 3 different ways to win. I feel like all 3 are viable. And I felt tension the entire game.
Now, that to be fair, though, Tom, that's because you were playing me and I was in your head the entire time.
That's true.
The look of fear and intimidation, I think, was uncomfortable to viewers, but for me, I really enjoyed every moment of it.
All right.
You may have beaten me in the second
Trash talk Delicio.
Blabble, the game where players speak different languages. Although if I play Z at any game, we could do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Because I'll make up garbage. Is that what you're saying?
No, you could speak in Spanish the whole time, and I could speak in English.
I know some of it. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's the point of Blabble. We'll slowly learn each other's languages. You teach me Spanish, I teach you English.
Wow. Okay.
I can speak in Pig Latin.
There you go. I can't speak that.
Right.
I already had a hard time learning English. Now you want me to mess it up? Get out of my face, Pig Latin speakers.
So I think this is maybe I'm being cynical here, but I think this is a project that would be easy to kind of like make fun of in a way because it's so weird. But there's a part of me that really thinks that there's something really clever about the idea of this. I don't know if it would work in practice. This is one of those games that it feels like it's very much a, here's this high level idea we have. I don't know how it would work in practice, but I think it's an interesting notion. I don't know. I mean,
I agree partly with what you're saying. I agree with the part about making fun of it.
Okay.
And I disagree with the part I believe you mentioned fun. I disagree.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Part.
You don't think it's at least an interesting idea?
Actually, this reminds me maybe of that game where you hit each other with those clubs.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but that one's a single communication language, and then there's that stupid hitting each other with the clubs. This is like awkward. It's like the most awkward like party game I can possibly imagine. Unless you also like if somebody says a weird word that is your trigger word, you're supposed to like take off a piece of clothing. That's the only way I can make this more awkward. It's just like saying weird
I can think
stuff
about 10 more
other,
ways right now.
I don't know what that means, huh?
No, but the impression I got.
10 more other ways to make this more awkward, but yes.
True.
Go.
The impression I got was that you're all working off the same quote unquote dictionary, so that you've got. Again, I could be giving this way too much credit, but I thought you were supposed to be looking for kind of roots that were similar among all of the people at the table. So it's like, yeah, they've got a different language, but it has a similar root to a word that you have on your dictionary. And so you're using almost a little bit of, okay, well, that's kind of similar to this word I have here. Again, maybe I'm giving it way too much credit, but I don't know.
Wait,
I thought it was at least an interesting idea.
Root? If so, I retract my statement. This
all right,
great.
well, here's the thing, Mike. I don't know. You might be right. And if that's the case, that's interesting. We were talking earlier about clean design, but you can go too far.
That's true. No, I don't think the look of it.
All the art.
Right. No, the look of it's
like
not
a pile of clip art.
Yes, I agree with that 100%.
That's my problem with it. This is the kind of game that I won't put on the table because it just doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Little clip that they showed. I mean, there's barely any play of it, right? They showed that a little bit at the beginning, but there might be more throughout these videos. I wasn't gonna be bothered to watch them all, but it just was so dumb. It's like a lady going "kluk-klak," and some guy's like "kluk-klak, kluk-klee-kloo," and she's like, "Yeah, kluk-klak, kluk-klee-kloo, yeah, exactly." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that means stone." Just shoot me. I mean, come on. That sounds so stupid.
Yeah, it might be awful.
That's twice now Zia's asked to been shot.
That's true. Wow.
Okay, look, let me tell you. I will come back to it. I'll go for a third time.
The next game is Veiled Fate. I'm a little hesitant to talk about this, considering how I got so smoked by Mike at this game. We played this live. He really was in this game. In this game, each person is a god. You have your stuff hidden, or you're a demigod.
Demigod,
and you're just moving around.
Also, it's antithesis, you monster. Keep going. Shoot me.
Take it away, Mike.
Clue. I will say this. This was the game from the Essen coverage that we did that surprised me the most. That I went into it not knowing if I'd have it, because social deduction games to me are very, very hit and miss. But I really, really enjoyed this. Now, I will say that I think that there's a tremendous amount of luck involved. Mm-hmm. I did, technically win on a coin flip. I mean, we can't overlook that completely. So you have to be okay with luck. But I really liked the kind of the feeling that was around the table, that it really did kind of have this whole thing of, okay, Roy moved over there, but I think that maybe have just been, and then Kenny, who knows what Kenny's doing. And I just thought it was a very fun experience. Would that continue for 20, 30 plays? I don't know, but who plays 20, 30 plays of any game? I think it looked amazing and it was a prototype. So I don't know. I did enjoy it quite a bit.
I saw you guys playing this and it looked different for sure.
Yeah.
It feels like if you like Cosmic Encounter, this might be up your alley. I'm not saying it's the same game at all, but it has that same, there's talking. It has the play cards in a group like Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
And I love how it looks. Mm-hmm. It's a little stressful, so I don't know that I'd want to play it all the time.
Right.
Because we were playing very good-naturedly with good friends, and I was still kind of like, and I can't imagine doing that all the time.
Right. I agree with that. It can lead to some, getting a little fired up.
Okay.
All right. Knockdown board game. It's a dynamic fighting game where you have to knock your opponent out of the arena just like sumo wrestling.
Okay. Before we get going, what game does this immediately remind both of you of? Because I think we all have to be thinking the same thing. Look at the
Reiner
board.
Knizia Duel is what I think of.
On Guard, I immediately thought of On Guard.
Oh no, I think of David Serlin's game, which he definitely did not steal from Reiner Knizia.
Ixnay on the Efthay.
You do know Big Lad, you liar!
I was kind of like, okay, I see what they're doing, and I guess I still do. But then when they did the stack 10 cubes thing, I was like, really? Why?
That's exactly.
Why?
Tom knows. That's where they lost me. I was watching that video. I was like, all right, whatever. It's another one of these dueling games. You know, blah, blah, blah. It's okay. And then they get like, and now when you get knocked down, your opponent counts to 10 while you stack your wound cubes. And if they fall over, you lose. I'm like, check, please.
I don't dislike that. That's a you thing.
And it's totally a me thing.
No,
yes.
I'm out too on that. I just think that just doesn't fit.
This is Awakened Realms Light. I'm going to give it a chance just because I think the company has that pedigree for me. I still don't. I think it's weird that they have two different companies, but I don't like the art tremendously, but I do like the miniatures, and I do like these duel games. They tend to hit my top 10 lists normally.
Yeah, you like this style of game. How do you feel, Tom, about the theme of this game being their other games, at least to a degree? What do you think about that?
It doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I'm not so invested in the characters from the other games. Like, I don't know their characters that well that I'm like, oh, yeah, it's so-and-so.
No, I meant more the opposite, where you're like, oh, come on, stop trying to sell me your other games while I'm playing this one.
I do yell about that a lot, but I didn't even notice they were from the other games till you just mentioned it.
Okay.
I actually don't think I noticed that either now that you say that.
Yeah. It's basically themes from their other games, like characters from their other game. This is like, Super Smash Brothers. That's what it is for their games. So they're using all their own IPs from their other
true. I can see now the alien from Nemesis. That one guy is from.
It feels
Vanguard,
like an act.
I think.
It feels like they're just pushing the other game. This is the kind of thing you get to advertise your other game. I don't know. I
What's
don't
the
like
price of
that.
this? They have 2,000 backers. Oh, it's just $25 or $30. That's not too bad,
Euros.
actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much of it though is that? Is that all of it?
It says it includes all
Volume
the stretch
1.
goals and Volume 2 standalone expansion and Volume 1 core box. That's a good chunk for $30, man.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah, it
reason
says right on
1,700
there.
people back that.
Yeah, you're right. You said Volume 2 is based off of Nemesis. It comes right out and says it. I didn't catch that. Okay.
I'm sure there'll be something I won't catch. Here we go.
Lost Ones. This is from Greenbrier Games.
Mm-hmm.
So Greenbrier tends to put a lot of story into their games.
Yes.
I like the artwork of the board here a lot, although it certainly gives me a Seventh Continent vibe.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Except I think it's significantly lighter than that. But yeah, It surely looks like it.
And whoever painted these miniatures did a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm a little concerned about it only in that I like the look of Greenbrier Games, but the only other experience I have with them is Grimslingers, which is a game that I felt looked a lot better than it played. And so I'm kind of hoping this is a more streamlined
you played
system.
that Barbarian game with us, remember?
Oh, that was them. That was a very different game.
Yeah, that's more of a kid's game than anything.
Yeah. This looks like it has more of a Grimslingers type of a vibe to it, at least. So I don't know. I do like the look of it.
Yeah, I do too. I think the comparison to a Seventh Continent, but lighter and sort of more story driven, as in like read from a book, that seems apropos to what's going on here, and I'm down for that. I think I'd be willing to give that a try.
Selling point, though, right? You know, you don't want something that's so big all the time.
Right.
All right, Shadow Network, a game about spies, because spies want you to know.
Here's the one I was talking about that I thought was the one I thought was underperforming, and I'm not sure why. I really don't know why.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I don't know why this isn't funding.
This looks good, if a little abstract.
Right.
Oh, no, it's not funding.
No, it's not even close.
No, it's like halfway there. It's got a cool theme.
Yep.
I like what's going on in it. It looks a little more abstract than I would like. Maybe that's the problem. Right. Where, it's just sort of combined blue and yellow, and that gives you some other power, and it just all the folders and all the stuff you're gathering just seem to be colored cubes, or could have been colored cubes. Right. Having said that, this looks good to me. I'm surprised this isn't bringing it. Yeah, I don't know.
It looks good. It reminds me, not just in theme, but it reminds me a bit of Covert. Talon Strikes did vinyl, which I liked quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, they did vinyl.
Camp Pine Top I actually also liked quite a bit too. So I'm really surprised that this is not performing. I mean, I don't think it's an off-putting theme. I mean, it's Watergate was very popular, and like I said, Covert was relatively popular when it came out, and this is one that I just don't get.
This game sure looks like King Klenko's game a little, though.
Yeah, Covert. That's the one I just said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with everything you're saying, Mike. I'm wowed that this is not even halfway to funding with 9 days to go. I don't know why. This should be funding. And the one thing I thought was must be a company thing. So I indeed did click and look at what else they did. Their last thing was vinyl, which is fine. It's out. Yeah. People have played it. People have liked it. I don't know what the problem is here. I'm confounded by this one.
I am too.
Oh, well, maybe some people will see this and get on the ball.
I hope so.
All right, here's a little tiny package called Mini Steel, Ultra Portable Quick Fix Battle Royale Strategy Card Game. The first thing, I just like this packaging. I think the whole thing just has a nice, robust little, it's very, very abstract, obviously, but I don't know. I just liked how it looked. I like the colors. I like the symbols.
Is it the same reason you love the Tiny Epic Games packaging? Is it a similar thing there where you like?
Okay, again, this is not calling itself Small Epic. It's just a small game. Okay?
Okay.
Stop acting
Okay.
like I'm against small games. I'm against big games that have been shrunken. That's all.
Fair enough.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is okay. This looks
Yeah,
okay. This
it
looks like
doesn't-
some.
This looks like that. Lord, this looks like that Game of Thrones game you'd like, which is not good.
Look,
Which
if I
one?
ever want to sit down with my significant other on a piece of granite and play a game, I think this is going to be the one that I'm going to go to. But otherwise, you see that little beginning of their video there? They're sitting there on like a rock or something.
I can think of a lot better games for that than some tiny card game, which are, I mean, the smallest breeze, and they're
Right.
gone.
Right. I think it's about halfway through, actually, Tom. Oh, no, there it is, right there.
No,
Yeah.
this does not look good to me. But
No.
it also does not look terrible. That's the thing.
No,
This
right.
week, there's nothing that jumps out and just like
Right.
grabs me by the collar
I'm
and
sorry. I
says,
should have put a couple terrible projects in. I
No, I
failed
mean-
you all.
"No, it's okay. You're doing well, Tom.
Yeah.
Those guys are definitely for real fighting."
Okay,
This
let's
looks
jump. More small games. Pocket Paragons, a 3-minute asymmetrical duel.
Remember what you said a moment ago about putting games on that don't look very good? I think mission accomplished, Tom.
No, but Tom likes the dual games, right, Tom?
Boy, do
I
I
don't
not
think
like
this-
the way this looks.
I think this looks okay, but it also
Ooh.
has distinctive different styles. Like
distinctively
I think
bad.
Well, no, shut up. I think the top one here looks bad. I think
Uh-huh.
the second one looks okay.
Worse?
I like the look of the third one, and the fourth one is okay.
Nah.
So you're saying the best you can hope for is a good-looking one to an okay versus an okay-looking
Well,
one.
sure, I'm definitely not saying this looks great. I'm simply saying it looks okay. I don't think it looks bad, though.
I think it looks bad.
Trying to think what I thought of this one when I saw it, if anything. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I just looked at it not an hour ago, and I barely remember it. That's the problem. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's like so forgettable. Another dueling game. Bite me. Another dueling game. Who cares?
That should be the name of the next dueling game. What's that?
Another dueling game. Who cares?
Somebody
Well,
would do
that too.
That's the
That's
thing.
not what I was going for, but that's okay. We'll stay with
right.
that.
Yeah, we're a Dice Tower show. We should talk about Dice Towers. Woo!
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
These look pretty cool. I especially like the color motifs they add to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
These
Yeah.
are okay. They're cheap enough. They're $28, right? If you don't dislike that look of the laser cut, so you can see all the seams and everything.
Right.
If you're not bothered by that, I don't
Yeah.
necessarily like that look a lot, to be honest. It's kind of like seeing where things come together. I don't like seeing that. But
Yeah.
if you don't care about that, yeah, this is cool. You can customize it with felt of whatever color
Yeah.
you want in there. They seem to fold away and get put away nicely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The thing that was
suspect
most
that they don't need a Kickstarter. I suspect
Right.
they could just open a store and sell this stuff for that price.
Sure.
The thing that was most impressive to me about these dice towers, I don't know if you saw this in the video, is that they work not only for RPG games, they work for kids games,
Oh,
they work for strategy games,
okay.
they work for I can't remember what else they put in there. They just basically took anything that involves dice and made it a separate thing. Like, oh, it works for strategy games, it works
Wow.
for RPG games, it works for kids games.
What about
Rolling
like
right.
dice games? Would it work for just purely
No,
dice games?
that's a stretch goal. That's a stretch goal. The dice.
Okay.
game.
Actually, as a side note, I actually really dislike using Dice Towers for like roll and write games where you roll dice all the time. It
Yeah.
actually slows the game down.
Yeah, it does.
I'd hate to tell you, Tom, but
No, don't
Dice
say it.
Tower slows the game down no matter what, you know.
I knew you were going to say something mean. All right, Dice
That was
Command.
mean. You want to hear something mean? Well, Tom, you chose the name Dice Tower, right? I got some things to say to you. No, I'm not going to.
My name is Dice Commander. So,
Mm.
Dice Command,
This is
a
CI
semi-abstract
movie.
tactical war game with
Mhm.
dice action selection and engine building. It's a really dark cover there. I mean, like physically
is.
dark.
It is.
The game
This,
itself isn't as dark, but looks really simple.
You know, it gives me vibes of D-Day Dice, if you've ever played that.
Right.
It kind of gives me those vibes.
I don't lie. I like the theme. I mean, the dice game happening here looks all right.
Yeah.
I like this theme.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to play a game with this theme, here's the thing: I wouldn't want a semi-abstract, like they're calling it, dice game. I want to actually feel like I'm playing a game with this theme. Now, that doesn't mean I personally want to play a heavy war game. I'll play like Memoir 44, a light strategy game.
Yeah, but
with this theme,
are getting blown in the smithereens.
They are indeed. So that's my own thing, but I feel like maybe war gamers who want an ultra filler might be into this.
Sure.
Looks okay. I'd have to play it.
Yeah.
But what if you put them all like in these little tanks?
That's adorable. I
got
to different. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a pretty cool art print too, by the way. That dark bottom works with the top so much more. All right. Well, we got some more Kickstarter projects to look at, folks. We'll be back in just a second. Let's jump over to Mark Streed and see what he's been talking about.
Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and today we've got a handful of games to look at. Let's kick it off with Twisted Fables. Yes, taking characters like Red Riding Hood and twisting them, putting them on their ear. Actually, what's pretty neat here is that you truly feel super powerful with these different characters. And I love the presentation of this game and the artwork, and I love that you get to track your stats with pegs on a display board instead of tokens. Works really well. The battles are really interesting as you move along the track. You have to position yourself in order to take advantage of different abilities and things. Really interesting game. And then we have two new expansions for Asking for Troubles. We have Troublemakers, which is about stopping a robot infestation, Trobots, which were created to help stop the Troubles. Well, they went haywire, and now you have to scour the galaxy as they are prolific, and you have to stop them from invading everywhere. And you get different kind of experience points for this, and you also have new upgrades. Also, we have companions, where you get companions you can take along on your adventures. Also, a new resource, crystal shards, and they will help you gather those shards. But these companions have all kinds of crazy quirks that you're gonna have to deal with throughout the game. Both of these expansions add a lot more depth to the game. It really is a fun experience. You will play them separately, but definitely worth checking out if you enjoy this game. And then we have Nova Atos Renaissance. Yes, this is a tactical strategy game, cooperative, and you have some amazing 3D buildings and miniatures that you can use in the landscape as you move through the story. And that's really the strength of this game, is that you have story decks that lead you through the campaign and the scenario that you're in. It even has scenes that will propose to you where you have a little bit of a choose your own adventure where you'll follow the scene to a certain card, and you may set up further adventures in the game by following those cards, or you might just be gambling. All kinds of different things can happen in these story cards. Really found it intriguing how the story evolves, and just the beautiful presentation of this game. Definitely worth checking out. And finally, we have Sons of Ferial. Now this is a big Euro game with an actually impressive theme. It actually comes through quite well. You're trying to save the land from corruption. You're trying to help the guardians of the land by removing menace and things like that. Also, you have heroes where your miniatures are waybits that you put masks on to represent your hero. And you have stats and things and crystals that you can spend to use your hero's abilities. Really interesting game, lots of choices, lots of things going on. Really a hugely in-depth game, but the theme really does work here. All right, so for my pick of the week, I have to say that all of these games, really enjoyed all of them actually, and it was a really tough decision this week. And the fact is that Asking for Troubles, those expansions add so much depth to that theme of that game and a lot of fun whimsicalness. It's a worker placement, but I could see easily my family and I playing this one over and over and over. But the thing is that I love cooperative games and I love storytelling. So Nova Renaissance, I love the presentation of this game. I love that it feels like an RPG. It is a strategic game for sure, but the story elements is what really draws me in. And they're gonna be like in folders, and you can reveal the story as you move through it, pulling out the cards. And like I said, there's a bit of choose your own adventure there. And I really like just how they put that together, and the storytelling is so rich and how you interact with the scenes, fantastic. All right, folks, if any of these games look like they might be of interest to you, please go check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
All right, every week we tend to take a look at a heavier war game, and today Help arrives in the form of a game called Help Arrives.
I see what you did there.
Mhm.
You're a wordsmith.
Yes, he is.
Well, Z, tell us a little bit about how this game is different than other war games you've looked at.
Well, this one is set in, what was it, Spain?
Tell us more.
Let me find it. Hold on, let me find it.
I like it.
It's about the Spanish Civil War. That's the difference. And also, there are 800 plus counters.
Mm-hmm.
Or, in the words of a non-gamer, or a non-war gamer, rather, ah!
I will say the
Right.
counters look pretty good, though.
Do
I'll
they?
give them that. The
You're
map.
insane.
the
By
map-
counter standards, maybe, but
No, yeah, okay.
I feel bad when we do these every week. I mean, because I think it's important that we cover them, but these just aren't for us. But you look at them, every single one of these that we've covered is not only funding, but comfortably funding. So there is a large group of people, well, large enough group of people that are interested in these. And you know, just obviously there's still a wargaming market out there. It's just not one that we necessarily are a part of.
I'm not mocking these. That's Z's job.
I'm
just-
not
Right.
mocking it either. I got to tell you, I think that the second this might be war games and the people who enjoy them and all that you were just saying, Mike, I think it might be the second category of games, only after miniatures games, that benefits the most from Kickstarter.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
You know, it's
And-
miniature games. Yes, they have to, because they need to make like $200, right, per
Right.
game, and you can't
Yep.
sell that. And then the other one is these games, war games, because the audience is small, so they won't find its audience out there if it just gets thrown onto the shelf of a local game store. But man, they fund, they do well.
Yep.
You know, they find their audience here.
Right.
And so that's great.
Yeah, it is. You could add the heavy train gamers to that too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Same.
well, they're
same
not
kind of
they're
thing.
not on as much, but they're getting there.
Right.
The 18XX games.
Sure.
All right. But what
Then you've
about
got Tactiki.
abstract strategy games? This is Tactiki. This is from Draw Lab. And I went and looked at this and I thought, I'm going to have to see this game played because it doesn't look interesting.
Mm-mm.
How is
The
this making
pieces look great.
$83,000? Explain that to me.
I don't know.
Draw
don't
Lab has
know.
a pretty big audience. If you remember, they're the original. They did a Project Elite.
Mhm.
Okay. This also looks though like Stratego.
It
Yeah.
really does.
It does.
But when you jump
So-
to that piece, you crush it out of existence. See that?
Now that's the hook. Okay, when you actually
I
can
love
have
this though. They're
destructible
like,
pieces.
but one always beats five. Also in Stratego.
What?
Yeah, like that's in a lot of games where 5 beats 4 and then 4 beats 3, and so it's not
This
like
one
it's
is
a new
mind-boggling.
twist.
The only thing I can think of is that
Uh,
they're drawing on the Draw Lab name and also
Yeah.
the cute pieces. But
sure.
maybe I'll play it and go, guys, Stratego's been solved. This is it. I'm really, this is my surprise of the week on how well it's doing.
Yeah.
Agreed. And hey, don't get me wrong. I think it looks very good.
Sure.
I think it's clearly well finalized. They have a very high production look for both the product and the video.
Mm-hmm.
But this is making $83,000, and the one about the spies has 14 or 12.
Yeah. I don't get it.
What's going on there? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm looking at their other games that they've done. So they've done their coins that have done well. Then Fired Up, which failed, and they redid it. Then Witless Wizards, which did not do tremendously well. Mystic Scrolls didn't do well. Oh, I do like these legendary dice throwers. But yeah, the Spells of Doom, I don't know. It's like this came out of nowhere. Who knows?
Hey, it's good for them, man.
Yeah.
All right, Dirty Money, the money laundering game.
Mm.
For a game there's a really big difference, I believe, for me in the cover of this game and the cards.
Yeah.
They don't match at all. Like if you just show me the cards, I'm like, I'm in. If you just show me the cover, I wouldn't even play the game.
That's the thing that gets me is the cover is so off-putting, like so off-putting that I almost gave up before I started. But then I looked into it. I'm like, okay, well, I actually like this designer. And I looked at the video, and I don't like that either. I don't like that right there.
Don't like Mona Lisa with an iPhone?
No, it's not a great look. I mean, but again, the video actually made it look like it might be an interesting enough game. It's just there's this huge disconnect between. I just don't like the looks of some of the cards. Here, right?
Like the money cards. Great.
Exactly. But the other cards look awful. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like the difference in artwork. You pick one and stick with it. The difference is throwing me off.
Yeah.
All right, then we got Warcaster Collision Course. Now, this is obviously a miniatures game, so just kind of more of a, I look at this and go, huh, that's cool, but I can't say bad or good about it other than it's making a lot of money.
Yeah, I couldn't get through. This is one of the few videos I couldn't get through. Just like heavy, I forget what the music sounds like. Let me see. Yeah, it's just sort of like a bunch of drumming and, outtakes from Fury Road. It was just cacophonous and annoying.
The miniatures, they're well painted, the ones that you won't get because you have to paint your own, I'm sure.
Right.
But I don't know, just not for us, but I still thought we should talk about it because it's a pretty big Kickstarter.
The video, I don't think went into gameplay at all. It really was literally just showing the miniatures spinning around.
And you're just getting new expansions.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
I think so. Now, similar to this game, we have radioactive bees. Bees is definitely the theme of the second half of this year.
You're not kidding.
Bees are in. Bees are in like Flynn.
Yeah.
I like this design. I have to say the logo.
That's
combining a radioactive symbol with a bee.
Yeah, that's cute.
That's awesome. I like that a lot.
That's a cover that would make me stop and look at it.
Yeah. The game, not so much. I didn't really like the way this game looked, but I like the I like the cover a lot.
That plastic looks like 70s board game plastic.
Really cheap. Yes, it does.
It does. It does.
I think the game might be interesting, though, putting these tiles on top of each other. I mean, it's very abstract, as almost all B games are. But I'm not opposed to how the game plays. I'm just worried that the game looks a little cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree with that. Yeah. But no, this is a pass from me personally. But I like the cover. I'll wait for the app. I think that's never going to come.
Chromatic Trays. So this company is doing what you could never do, and that is put a picture in the bottom of your dice tray. So I'm not sure how they're getting away with this. Maybe it's like different enough from Legends of Zelda.
It is intellectually distinct.
8-bit platform.
Which one? What are you talking about? Which one is different from Zelda?
It's 8-bit RPG. Looks
right.
Legends
what about
Zelda.
8-bit platformer? I wonder what that's coming from.
That one, they made it look... No, that...
Barely.
Yeah.
No.
And the infinite dice tray is a terrible idea. Roll your dice.
Where's my dice?
That is horrifically bad.
Yeah, it's not good. Not a good.
That's a good picture for your wall, but not for your dice tray.
I guess I could give it to someone else if I want to just mess with them. Here, roll in here, you know?
Yeah, I like the idea of this. But
how much are these things? How much for that?
That's a good question.
$40.
And they sell you the dice tray with whatever image you want?
Yeah, but if you want your own image, it's $50.
That's all right.
I like dice trays. Yeah. Interesting, but I want them that I kind of want them to have almost nothing or a background where I can easily see the dice.
Yeah.
I don't think it bothers me as much because you're throwing them in there. You're going to read them and then remove them immediately. So
you should make a custom one of your face with your mouth open wide so that you're rolling the dice into your mouth. How about that for an idea? That's worth $50 all day.
No, I'm pretty sure that's not worth 50 anything.
No?
All right, moving on. Yedo Deluxe Master Set. So Yedo came out 8 years ago, I think.
Oh, has it been that long?
It's been a bit since it's come out. I'll look it up now, but I feel like it's 2012. I might be wrong. 2012. Yep, Yedo.
What a beast.
The master. Why do I even ask?
Anyhow,
Time to read that on those unwritten rules, Delicio.
I need to get in on that.
when Yedo came out, everyone basically said it's like a gamer's game of Lords of Waterdeep. Yeah. And that's really kind of what it is. I like it. Boards and Dice has it now, which is exciting because they do a good job. The game board, just a glance at it, doesn't look that different than the original one. I haven't seen them side by side. In fact, I don't even know how different the artwork is. I know that the pieces are clearly
Is this
better.
out? Has this been available before?
What do you mean?
Like this deluxe one? Because you said
No.
you haven't seen them side by side, and this is not a
deluxe,
reprint of a deluxe version.
It says Deluxe Master Print reprint.
Has this been out before then, you guys think?
It may be, and we just hadn't seen a copy of the deluxe edition.
That's possible. Here they show you the Yedo. This is the one I've seen before, the one here from Eggert Spiel and Pegasus Spiel. It's a bigger box. It has a new components. Oh, wait, here they're showing you the difference. Borderless cards with new stunning art. This I know they changed. The screen printed stuff. That was an obvious fix. Oh, there's the board. They look fairly similar.
They do, but now there's a reverse. There's another side. You can flip it
side,
over.
yeah.
The clam board looks much better, and it looks like it has spots to put everything, which makes Mike irrationally happy.
Very happy.
Yeah,
Very
baby.
happy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Yedo. I'll be very glad to get this reprint. When's it coming? I think they said April. Yeah, April.
Right.
That's not bad.
No.
Oh, what did you say, Tom? I am overjoyed.
This is an embarrassing quote. It says,
"It is one that I'm going to keep, adding it to my shelves."
Ask me if
Tom
it's on my
Beck,
shelf.
previous owner.
Well, I had to cut my collection down to 300 games a few years ago, and so
That would be great if they put an addendum to this quote. Addendum. I had to cut my collection down to 300 games.
This didn't make the cut.
This is definitely one I've tried to get in the library. When I heard there was a reprint, I'll wait for the reprint to add it to Dice Tower Library. That's a.
That's all right, though. It's an old logo, so it doesn't count anymore.
Ah, okay.
If you see this logo, it's a lie.
Right.
All right. All right, last project and the biggest one. Darkest Dungeon, the board game, is from Mythic Games. 2.4 million with a week to go, so we'll figure it will end around 3 or 4 million. This is based on a video game, very popular video game. I actually don't know anything about the video game. I know the name. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, either.
I haven't played it either.
Right.
So I don't. I saw some of the imagery, both what they use and just some I've seen elsewhere. And yeah, they look to be doing a good approximation of that. Very dark, very tough from what I understand. So yeah, I mean, this is a slam dunk for folks who love the game already. And then even if you don't, I assume
scares me off a little.
What does the fact that it's so tied to that?
So hard. No,
that it's hard.
It's a tough game. I'm like, I'm tired of losing games all the time.
Yeah. This also, I mean, it's going to be another one of those situations where you're going to be getting a lot. So I guess you'd have to be prepared to have boxes and boxes of material.
I mean, it looks really good. It looks really well done.
It really does.
Be super pumped about it. So, I mean, Mythic has a track record of their miniatures looking fantastic. I think this is November 2021. I don't know. I mean, have they got out their last one yet?
I think they're a couple behind, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Look real quick. We can look on the thing. The last one is that big one. We played it, the last saga.
Hell, yeah.
And
Steam Watches is not out either.
Well, let's see what they said, though. So this one
Super
said
Fantasy Brawl, I think, just came back. Yeah.
And This one, Steam here said March 2021. Wow. So if you're a Mythic game guy, you're gonna have a 2021 year.
Yeah.
This one here said March 2020, and it just went out now. But to be fair, I mean everything was delayed, so I'm not going to fault them on that one.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have kind of the only thing for me with the Darkest Dungeon is that it's the theme itself doesn't intrigue me, but it might be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a thematic point of view alone, for me, Hell, the Last Saga was more interesting and engaging than this one. You know what I mean? Both because it's based on a video game I haven't played, and I just like that other theme about these grim, dark Vikings lost on a land they don't know more than another dungeon crawl. You know what I mean?
It's more unique. It's definitely more unique.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, hey, it's making bank. It seems to be well finalized. So
no kidding.
All right, before we jump into the picks of the week, let's take a look at the boomerang straw.
What?
That's what I've been waiting on.
Do you hate using paper straws, it asks?
I hate it.
I do, actually. I do.
You can buy this little thing that looks like a boomerang that you can stick in a paper straw. And now you can use paper straws.
So instead of them just taking the trouble to sell me the entire straw, they're just selling me a cap to a straw, so I still waste the paper straw and have to bring an attachment. If I'm bringing an attachment, I'm just bringing the whole straw.
Gentlemen, I don't want to. I
think you could actually put this in your pocket. You could put this in your pocket. You could put the whole straw in your pocket.
You could.
I don't want to alarm you, but if you ever wanted a feeling of power, right now, the three of us, with the click of a button, could double the backers of this project right now. Are you ready? Are you ready to do it? We can double it.
Oh, wait. I'll do it by myself. I'm getting you a 5-pack. You're all getting one for Christmas.
That would be hilarious, kind of, but also a waste.
Yes.
Fine.
Funny, man. That is funny. The boomerang straw that you can attach to a paper straw.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to feel the paper on your lips. I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
All right, see, what is your pick of the week? I don't actually have an idea. I think it's going to be that spy game.
I think Z and I have the same one this week.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't know either. I don't know. Nothing really stood out particularly this week to me. Let me look through here again and see what it was. Definitely not that. Garbage.
Well, Mike, you know yours is. What is it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually, this is a little bit, I am going to go for the Shadow Network game because I really think that game should be getting more attention. I don't know if it's a great game, but I think it looks good. I think that publisher has a bit of a track record at this point. I like the theme of it. I don't think that's an overused theme. I think it's a good looking page. I just don't get this one. And so I want to get some more attention to this. And I'm actually going to do a little bit of more research myself. I might put my money where my mouth is. I haven't backed it as of yet, but I just don't get it. I do not get why this project is not doing better. So that's my
Alrighty. I'll do mine while Z's still looking. Unforgiven, the Lincoln assassination trial.
I thought because you
really like this one. Right. It is just a fantastic 2-player game. I personally love the history part of it, but even without that, I was just impressed that every card I would play or take or toss, I would sit there and think, how can I hurt my opponent, or if nothing else, not help them, and set myself up in the future. It's just really tense. I'm really intrigued to play it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's really good. It really is.
All right, so Z said the teeth dice. I know that.
Right.
I'm gonna go with
No.
I'm gonna go with Desolated.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I assume that's how you say it. I hate that title. Just go with either Desolate or go with, I don't know. Desolate is just, doesn't sound good.
Like you want
but
Desolation?
Anyway, I think I'm gonna go Desolation or Desolate. Desolated. Bleh, I hate saying that. Yeah. Anyway, the game looks good. I like the graphic design. You already mentioned, Mike, the spy one. I love sci-fi as a theme. I really do, and I'm a lot more forgiving of it than fantasy when it looks a little generic.
Right.
And I think that's how I feel here. I'm giving it a lot of slight just because the cards and the illustrations look so good. So, yeah, it looks neat to me.
Yeah.
You know what it kind of looks like? I'm looking through the pictures now again. It kind of gives me a vibe of like a sci-fi Res Arcana or something.
Yeah, I could see
Actually,
that.
I was thinking more of It's a Wonderful World.
That too.
Yeah. So I'm into it. I want to check it out.
Alrighty. Well, that's that, folks. Don't forget, if you're just jumping on now, as half of you do, we started a contest in this episode, and you're going to want to go back and look to see how you can win a copy of a game about archaeologist hogs. So go all the way back to the beginning of the episode to see how you can enter that contest. We will see you all tomorrow morning for Board Game Breakfast. Come join me, Z, and Monacore Live for 2 good opinions on the news.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
Oof.
Oh, no. The tension. You can cut it with a knife.
Alrighty. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. My opinion sucks.
And I'm Mike DeLisio.
Have fun rolling teeth dice.
Ooh.
That's disgusting.